Corporate advertisers are buying censorship and Google Corporation is selling it to them. Know that and remember that. This message provided in the public interest by an interested member of the public. Get interested.
Alright, kind of a response video to Fred. Living in dystopia here. Yeah, I had to get the water out of that stupid water heater out of the pilot line. Oh, terrible pain in the neck. Anyway, so I was just here in dystopia, and he did dystopian video, so I thought it was a good place for a reply. It's really strange how you interpret movies. So let's start with the time machine. And you think that it was like he went there and he just interrupted a perfectly balanced society where a bunch of mole people are basically eating the surface people, and they didn't just humanely put them out of their misery. It wasn't like humane farming in a sense. I mean, yeah, okay, they lived nice, but even that was, you say it was like a perfect society. It was a blueprint of a non-human. It wasn't a human animal. I mean, yeah, somebody's drowning and no one cares enough. I mean, how could you have a society? How could you have human beings that would be that disinterested? A hot chick is drowning and no men are going to jump in the water and save her. I mean, get real. But anyway, that part was just kind of silly. And again, what are you defending in life? Are you defending this idea of you just sit around and consume shit and reproduce, and you're going to say that that's worth doing then? I mean, if we don't do this intelligence thing, then life really fails. It fails with intelligence, but it double, triple, quadruple fails without intelligence. And so to me, it just sounds like some kind of religious nonsense, like somehow we are accomplishing something if we have little organisms running around eating pears and not giving a damn if each other falls in a goddamn stream and drowns. And then your interpretation of the slaughter, as if they, like I said, like it was some sort of fine, no big deal, nobody cared. Well, nobody knew. They were ignorant of the fact that they were going to be food. And it didn't seem, like I said, like when you watch it, the movie, there's no evidence that the slaughter is humane at all. There's slavery and then slaughter, and brutality and whips and pain and suffering. So that's kind of silly to say it was just some sort of benign, perfect, balanced society or something. There was nothing spectacular there. So let's just change the equation a little bit, and say that you had, the Morlocks were just, they were doing intellectual stuff. They read books and stuff. They weren't just fucking hairy, ugly animals. And that they humanely put the other people out of their misery at, say, a decent age, 30 years old, whatever the number would be. And it was done in a very humane and a gentle way, a graceful way. Well, then we might have an argument. So yeah, there's these little subtle plot tricks, in every movie, that you just change one little circumstance in the movie, and there you have a different movie. You mentioned The Matrix. My biggest gripe with The Matrix was they just said this line, like, the humans rejected the perfect program. Like somehow human beings would reject Caligula, some sort of perfect world they could live in. And so that was the premise of the movie, that somehow human beings just couldn't survive in a virtual reality that was perfect, which is just nonsense. But obviously you couldn't have the movie if it wasn't stated as a fact, as a premise for the movie. Because then all of a sudden, if everybody's living a kick-ass life and has everything, because their individual virtual realities don't have to mix, so everybody can be king of a virtual world. Everybody can win every contest. Everybody can be the hero. Everybody can be the quarterback. Everybody can get up the girl. Everybody can win in a virtual world. And so if they had created the Matrix like that, where every single human being had a spectacular life, yeah, that'd be a different movie then, wouldn't it? Because why would you fight being a battery if you were living in perfection to go live in a spaceship where you still caught a cold and life was shitty and you ate gruel and your body ached and, you died and everything was kind of miserable and cold and uncomfortable and your clothes were grungy and had holes in them and there were no hot women. There was one, but nobody got the that just seemed like a fair. Who gets the woman? So anyway, but yeah, you can find it in every sci-fi movie. I keep struggling with this idea of what is the reality, because there is this conflict between rights, freedom, and what kind of world is possible with technology. Because you can't do the Star Wars thing. It's just an impossibility, because one lunatic would fly their nuclear-powered starship into a planet and blow it to hell. So it's not going to work. So there has to be some other mechanism, some other future, and the bottom line is what are we all after anyway? In the end, I mean, what happens when people have starships? What are they playing out? The same stupid soap opera. They'll fly across the galaxy to get some pussy. So it's still the same silly. There's no other game here. We're just wanting beasts. And we're going to glorify that. But I really hate your take on this sometimes, where you said it about some other thing where you were really quite unimpressed by the negative elements, the suffering thing, and it's so kind of okay if you have life and death and struggle and all this crap. And there's absolutely nothing to justify about it. If it's looked at for what it is, it's crap. It is shit. It's only some sort of presumption, unless you apply some sort of presumed intelligence, presumed purpose onto this life thing. If you look at it for what it is just maggots. It's just maggots eating matter. It's maggot matter. Matter maggots. Yeah, matter maggots. That's all we are. We consume and we shit and we reproduce, and there's just nothing else here. This is a bug game. It's not an elegant game. It's a game made for bugs, and as long as humans remain bugs, they'll be able to play the game. But there's no game outside the bug game. You have to be a bug. You have to want. You have to have that. I mean, to live in a society where my ego doesn't exist anymore, and I can't have that feeling of victory. Well, who the fuck wants? Who wants to live in that world? Fuck it. That's like it's like a world with no chocolate or something. Fuck it. Anyway, that's enough of a video, I think. I guess I'll have a little add-on since I got a little extra time. Yeah, you also mentioned that the End of the World, whatever it was, movie with the zombies, and the 3 versions of it. And yeah, well, the last version there, the newest one, those zombies didn't look all that damn happy to me. So I guess I really don't see it. I don't see how their life was at all a sympathetically good one. I wouldn't want to live it. So I guess I don't get some of your angle, where you seem to have an appreciation for a lot dirtier life than I'd want to live, a lot messier. My idea of utopia is James Bond. You go play some cards, screw a few women, save the world, and you don't even get your pants dirty. That's my utopia. But anyway, till next time.